This is Rabbi Son, hot takes on news, pop culture, and religion, hosted by Rabbi Patrick, that's me, and my son Javon. Spiritual, irreverent, always fearless, produced by Darshan Yeshiva. How's it going there, Javon?
Fine.
Have you been enjoying our series that we've been doing of Am I the Blank Blanks?
Yeah, people are interesting.
People are interesting, and you know what's really interesting from my perspective is Jewish weddings. So I got a lot of those. I probably officiate 25 to 30 ceremonies a year. Let's flip this a little bit, and now let's talk about the sister getting married on a particular day. So this is a Jewish family. So am I the A for refusing to attend my sister's wedding because she scheduled it on Yom Kippur? So I'm in a bit of a bind. Could use some outside perspective. 25-year-old man, Orthodox Jew, sister's 28, recently got engaged. We're a close-knit family. I've always been supportive of her relationship. But she and her fiance have chosen their wedding on Yom Kippur. Okay. My sister grew up somewhat religious, but slowly but surely chose her own path, decided to stop practicing Judaism altogether. Now, we don't know exactly what altogether means, but whatever. I never judged her for it, nor did I stop talking to her or anything. But when I first heard about the date, I was shocked. I approached her privately and expressed my concerns, reminding her the significance of Yom Kippur and how it would be impossible for me to attend due to religious obligations, obviously. She brushed it off, saying that it was the only date that worked for their venue and that I should make an exception for a special day. Our parents were caught in the middle. They understood my position, but also didn't want to upset my sister. Some extended family members thought I was being unreasonable and that family comes first. Others were siding with me, believing that my sister was being inconsiderate. I feel like she really wanted to make a point and show the world and herself that she doesn't believe anymore and doesn't care about religion, which we spoke about many times, but she said it had nothing to do with religion. I doubt it. But personally, that's where I drew the line, and I decided not to attend, much to her, he says demise. I don't think that's the word he means, but okay. I feel torn. I wanted to be...
Dismayed, he probably meant.
Dismayed, maybe, yeah. I feel torn. I wanted to be there for my sister, but I also didn't want to compromise my faith. Was I the blank for refusing to attend her wedding on Yom Kippur?
Okay, so my first question is, what... Because you're going to have to re-explain Yom Kippur and what
that's all about.
Yeah, so re-explain that,
okay,
and then tell me how that looks for Orthodox Jews.
Okay, well, so funny thing is that I actually know of a situation. I had a situation like this in my life a couple, 3 times. So Yom Kippur is the Day of Repentance. This is where we fast. That's the thing that's kind of most famous. And you're fasting and you're sitting in synagogue and you're praying and you're meditating and you're thinking about your sins for the year and asking God for forgiveness. And that's, people call it the holiest day of the year. Technically, Shabbat is actually the holiest day, but we all know that that's a little bit of homiletics. That's a little bit of preaching. When we're talking about holidays, yeah, Yom Kippur is the big one. And so that's the first thing. I have had situations where people have wanted to schedule Jewish weddings on Jewish holidays. And there are certain ones where it's okay. So like there's certain days of Sukkot where it's fine. Hanukkah, perfectly fine. Minor holidays like Tu B'Shvat, Purim, fine. Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah, those are ones where it's like, it's a no-go. You do not do it. And it's because if you believe in the religion in that way, you understand that those are days that are set aside. Literally, a holiday is the word holy day. It's a contraction, okay? Or compound word, rather. So it is a holy day, and you experience the day outside of you and what you want and whatever special celebrations you're having. Someone we love very much, her birthday usually falls on Sukkot or Yom Kippur or Rosh Hashanah because she was born in the fall, and so what do? You work around it. You make that day, if it's God's day, for lack of a better word, you make it God's day and then you work around it. The same with like Shabbat. So We're having a Shabbat birthday party for me, right? So, the birthday party had to be scheduled for a certain day. It happens to be Shabbat. So what do? Well, you make it Shabbat and you include a birthday cake. Like, that's fine. Okay. So I'm not going to blow out candles. Okay. Big freaking deal. So you work around it. This situation is a little different, though, because this is kind of like I was asked to do a wedding on Rosh Hashanah, and I said no. And they said, well, it's very important for us to have a rabbi. And the thing is, if it's that important for you, you should have checked the date, right? Like, I'm sorry, I don't buy it when people say stuff like that. If it's important enough to have a rabbi, it has to be important enough to be Judaism. Like, at the end of the day. And if you're someone like me, it's going to be a lot more open. It's going to be a lot more fluid. It's going to be a lot more, inclusive. So, but when you're going to schedule a wedding on Yom Kippur, like, give me a break. Like, come on, look at a calendar. Like, the family dynamics part of it aside, I think ultimately this is a person, the sister, the bride, who has decided that she kind of just doesn't care about this stuff. Well, okay. It's your wedding. Every bride, this is actually in the Talmud, every bride is beautiful on her wedding day. So there you go. You're going to have to understand that certain family can't come. And I think it's a bit of a choice to push the family away. I think it's a rebellion thing on behalf of the sister. And I don't know if it's mature or not. I don't know these people. But yeah, I think that for whatever reason, the sister has the feelings that she has. And there is an element of like a final, I don't know what you want to call it, making that final gesture, that final, like, I am not part of this gesture. And your family's going to suffer because of it. Hope it's worth it to you. You know what I mean? Like, hope it's worth it to you. Hope you get whatever it is out of it that you want when half your family can't come to your wedding. That, like, for some reason, the venue only had Yom Kippur open. Yeah, no, I don't buy that. I don't buy that. People want to get married in the fall. I get everyone. You see me every fall. I'm about ready to lose my mind, right? Like, between weddings and the high holidays and all of that. You don't want, that wasn't the only day they had available. That was the only day in the fall when your pictures would look good on Instagram. Like, let's be honest. That's what that is. Okay, that was my talk. So it's all you now. I got to stop talking. Now I'm getting enraged.
For argument purposes.
Please go ahead.
That, you said that, these these two holidays, Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah, were, God's day.
Well, right? I was being kind of like, I was just trying to, like, come up with a fast way of saying it. But they're holy days. They're literally holy days, high holy days.
Yes.
They're the big ones.
So my thing is that, yes, that there will always be another holiday. Okay. And your sister's only supposed to get married once. And it's just like, not that he was obligated. And, kudos to him for being like, that's great for you. That's good for you. That's not something I want to do. And this day. And, that's something I want to do. So I'm not going to go. Mm-hmm. Simple. He had boundaries. He set them. He went on about his business. Right. Kudos to him. But it's like, this holiday, it comes around every year. Your sister's only supposed to get married once. It's supposed to be this one day to be like, boom, let me set that aside and, let me be here for you. Because this is only the one time, one only time that this is going to happen in her life. Mm-hmm. That's what you should look at it as. Mm-hmm. The holiday is annual. Mm-hmm. Your sister's wedding is not annual. Uh-huh. And for the rest of the family, I just don't like when family members come out the woodwork wanting to jump into conversations. Okay. Because do you think that's like add more people? Do you think that's what's happening where it says like
I've missed it. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one. That's why. Do you think that's what is happening when it says like others were siding with me? Some extended family members thought I was being unreasonable. So do you see like the extended family members being the outsiders in your
like the extended family members, whether they disagree or agree, right? Like you're extended, like I don't be having conversations with you. We don't chit chat. We don't be politicking. Like, I see you maybe, once in a blue moon. Adding extra people into it, it just like makes people dig their feet in harder. And then that increases the divide. Because when you feel like there's people backing you, you feel like you're right.
Yeah.
And this is, agree or disagree. And it's like I said, do I feel like he should have went to his sister's wedding? No, he stood his ground and he told her why. But do I think that the holidays comes, once a year and your sister's only gonna get married once? Absolutely. He chose to not go to her wedding. You're not gonna be in her wedding pictures. You're never gonna go to her wedding. There's not gonna be a day. You're never gonna do that. There's never gonna be a thing you go to. There's never gonna be a moment you're a part of. But you have the holiday that you can go to every year. I just feel like you're like that's the part. You know what I'm saying? Like a once in a lifetime, event versus an annual holiday. I think he wasn't being unreasonable because of the boundaries he set, and they live separate lives. He's religious, she's not. Boom, simple.
Right.
But I do feel like he could have did it. This is like a one-time event. Like that's like just like if somebody, you know what I'm saying? It's like a one-time.
Yeah,
it's like a one-time event.
Doesn't work that way.
Yeah, you don't have to agree. This not a agree or disagree. I'm just saying from my point, it's the holiday comes around yearly. You're gonna be living for a long time. Your sister's gonna get married once. You don't go to that 2 and 3 times. So it's not a yearly thing.
So what I would do is honestly, if I was in a situation like let's say you decided to get married. And of course I would want to be there. And for whatever reason, you decided to just torture me by making it Yom Kippur. What I would do is I would tell, and and I like that you're smiling because you're actually about to catch on to something that I just discovered in the comment section. So if you decided you were going to do this and it was just to torture me, I would fight fire with fire on this one, because what I would do is I would say, okay, you want to get married on Yom Kippur. Okay, well, what time, is it? Oh, it's the wedding's at 5:00. Okay, what? Fine. I would basically do all of the things I had to do for Yom Kippur, and I would then sit in whatever hotel room I'm in or whatever until it's time, and then I would go to your wedding, right? Like that's the kind of thing you would find a way to make it work. And so, like with this person, I would say, is there a Chabad near you? Is there like your family is Orthodox. Okay. Well, then if you have 10 men, you can create a minyan, have someone host Yom Kippur service at the wedding.
If the parents are Orthodox too, they're still going.
Right.
In my mind, they're like, this is my daughter. This is a one-time event. And I thought weddings was supposed to be a mitzvah. It's supposed to be a celebration. What, can you not have a mitzvah, like, in the middle of a holy holiday?
Well, not on Yom Kippur. It's like a funeral in some ways. It's a vibe shift sort of situation.
You can feel like, this is the Day of Atonement, like, apologies and all that. But it's also a moment to celebrate. It's like shedding old skin, stepping into a new. Like, that's the whole point. Jewish New Year, stepping on the old, stepping into the new.
So
cleansing.
So I'm actually with you on part of this, because if you go to Israel or you go to heavily traditional Jewish areas in America, some of the hotels, I mean the kosher ones especially, but some of the hotels have rooms that have Torah scrolls in them. I mean, literally, they have synagogues built into the buildings. So why don't you and your loved ones just have your holiday service and then go to the wedding? Like, that's fine. You're allowed to do that. Now, there's some issues with like the food, like when are you breaking the fast and whatever. And so that's a little bit of a problem. So someone actually did comment like, well, then why don't you just do something like that, right? And the person says, oh, I can't because it's like at a remote castle. There's no way to like whatever. And my attitude is, well,
my thing is, it's a remote castle, right? Keyword remote. If the day is supposed to be like you shut yourself off from the world, what better way to shut yourself off from the world than a remote castle? You be right here, you get there, like, do your 1-2, and then be like, okay, time. Transition. You go to the wedding, you be like, this is such a beautiful moment, and then you go back, and then you break the fast, and then you continue with the holiday.
Yeah, you could do Havdalah before the wedding ceremony. There's a lot of ways to do it, but then when they mentioned the remote castle, that's when several people on here who happen to be Jewish were like, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense. So like, is the wedding going to be kosher? Is there going to be blah, blah, blah? Well, finally, someone figured it out that the post is fake. So this was actually posted by ChatGPT. So this is a person who is studying computer science and wanted to battle AI in the future. And so they're making up different things to just test their ChatGPT model.
No,
so
I still feel like,
no,
like,
so it's nonsense anyway.
Yeah, but it's like still nonsense or not. I feel like there's a lot of ways to compromise in that. Like I said, weddings are a one-time event. Holidays are annual. And like, sometimes people do it on purpose. And like, trying to be all like, want to have a moment. And then like, if you was like, oh, so now I see what you're trying to do. And you're trying to have a moment. Then it's like, okay, you're using your wedding as this. And then it's like, you know what? I'm just not going to go. That's, cool beans for you. That's what you want to do. Congratulations. I'll send you your little wedding gift, kisses and, blessing all the nuptials.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
All right. Well, ChatGPT, good job. Yours was pretty good. All right. Good stuff. Thank you, Javon. Thank you to our sponsors at Darshan Yeshiva for making this content possible. Darshan Yeshiva provides beginner-level online Jewish learning, including the very popular Conversion Judaism program, with sponsoring rabbis and students all over the world. Start your Jewish journey any place, anywhere, and anytime with our conservative, reform, reconstructionist, Jewish renewal, humanistic, and post-denominational rabbi mentors. Become the Jew you always wanted to be with Darshan Yeshiva.